Hey, it's Big V here, and we are talking teams. So what is it that makes high-performing teams? What are the actual qualities that separate average teams from excellent teams? In my study of teams and my study of greatness, we go in and we look at all kinds of teams. Husband and wife teams, mother-son teams, teams where we have two agents that are just trying to get a better deal from their broker. And it's interesting to me that the more we study teams, even though they're structured different, the more the great ones have the same qualities. Let me give you an example. Every business, every team, every family, every individual, every office has a culture. And that culture is either intentionally created or it's accidentally created. And you have the ability to choose what you want your culture to be like. Team members should be hired and fired according to those set of culture or core values that are built within your team. So when you think about what your culture is, I like to think about a culture in real estate teams as being a culture of productivity. Let me give you an example. I've walked into offices where teams are running and they're there and all the team members are together and they're hanging out and they're going to lunch and they're figuring out what's going on tomorrow, what they're going to do over the weekend, and they're planning to do something great. And then I've walked into other teams where they every day get up and they have a huddle and everybody talks about their previous day prospecting and the appointments that were set and the appointments that were met. And then they practice their scripts and their dialogues, they role play and they focus on things that get them ready to be in the game. And then they literally get on the phone and they prospect for an hour as a team. This culture is what I call a culture of productivity. So when you're interviewing someone, if you set the ground rules of this is what our culture is, we want agents that produce a minimum number of 2 transactions a month. We want agents that come in every day for a huddle that are willing to hold each other accountable to do the activities or the things they commit to do. When you set that culture during the hiring process, it's easy to maintain and it doesn't become conflict when you have to hold each other accountable. So culture is one of the most important pieces of a high-performing team. The next function of a high-performing team is specialization. Now, I want you to think about that. Whether it's a doctor's office or a dentist's office or the grocery store, companies who specialize separate themselves from those who don't. And what I mean by specialization is simply this. And I want you to think about this as a consumer. If you were a real estate consumer, a buyer or seller of a home, and you wanted the very best to help represent you, do you want an average agent who does 7 transactions a year, half of them buyers, half of them sellers, so they do, 3.5 buy sides a year and 3.5 sell sides a year? Or do you want a buyer's agent who gets up every day and eats, drinks, and sleeps working with buyers? They know the inventory better. They close 36 to 60 deals a year. They understand what has to be done to get their offers accepted. They know the inventory. They've been inside homes. They know how to qualify. They know what to do when the financing goes whack or something happens and we have to change lenders in the middle of the process. They also know what to look for and what things might show up on an inspection prior to going inside a home. A great buyer's agent is a specialist at working with buyers. And as a specialist in working with buyers, what happens is the consumer gets a better experience. Same happens when you work with a specialist in working with listings. See, as a listing agent, when a listing agent comes in that does it 3 or 4 times a year, I know that they have a good heart and I know that they may have great integrity. But when you just only do it 3 or 4 times a year, how is it you become great at it? If you watch the book Outliers, it says it takes 10,000 times, 10,000 hours of practice in order to create excellence in something. Well, think about that with real estate. You do it 3 or 4 times a year. How are you ever going to create excellence? A real estate agent who specializes in working with listings goes on more listing appointments, prospects for more listings, knows what to do in open houses. They know how to market your home, how to price it effectively, how to deal in multiple offer situations, and how to make sure that the value they provide to the seller is worth every penny that they're charging. You see, a specialist in working with listings is going to give the customer a better experience. As we talk about specialization, what if we just talk for just a moment about the specialization of client care, the operational side of the real estate transaction? When you're dealing with a real estate agent who has a transaction specialist or a client care specialist, all they do is focus on making sure the details are handled with a high level of excellence. They make sure the paperwork is done, the dates are met, the schedules are coordinated, people getting inside and out of the house, all of that has to happen. And somebody whose job it is to make sure it happens with a high level of precision is a client care coordinator who specializes in that task. A generalist can also do it, but is it possible they may not be as good as someone who specializes in it? So number 2 in what makes a high-performing team is specialization. The third thing is training and development. When we recently did our team study where we surveyed teams all across North America, one of the things that was really clear is that team members that thrive relate the ability to thrive to the training and development they receive from their team leader, their company, or their brand. And I'm not talking about just like average training. I'm not talking about the contract training, while that's important. I'm talking about the specialization in each of the roles. At Workman, we use specialized training for buyer agent mastery, listing agent mastery, admin mastery, and even new agent training. Each of the training modules are designed for the specialization of the individual going through that training, and that's why we get exceptional results. So make sure that on your team, in your office, if you're going to focus on specialization, that you provide specialized training. After training and development is what we call top grading. Now, it means something different to different people, but for us at Workman, when we talk about the concept of top grading, every team and every business has turnover. Our job as leaders is to try and reduce the amount of turnover we have in our companies. We do that by creating a great culture, by providing training and development, by making sure that our people are specialized in the areas that they are best suited for. And then last, we do it by what we call top grading. Top grading is simply when you look at a position and you're getting ready to have turnover in their position, you look at the strengths of the person that is leaving. What did they do really well? What are the areas where there might have been some weaknesses or areas for improvement? When we hire the next person, do we hire someone that has skills that are considered better than the skills of the person that had just transitioned? I call that top grading. Sometimes it costs you a little bit more money, but I've learned that if you hire better people in positions, they're able to get more done with less effort because they're more suited, better trained, more qualified for that position. As you continue to think about and design your team, think about the culture, think about the specialization, think about the training and development, and then always be top grading, always be looking for new talent and new ways to improve the people that you have on your team. It doesn't matter whether you're a small team or a big team, the high-performing teams have these characters all in common. If you want a copy of our team study, just click on the link below and we'll make that available to you just for watching this video. Stay tuned for more great teams.